Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be reviewing Xiaomi's Poco F6 mobile phone. I've been using this device for almost 2 weeks now. I purchased its top end variant from Flipkart India for around rupees 32,000, roughly 382 US dollars. It comes with 512 GB of ROM and 12 GB of RAM. It's the speedy LPDDR5X type of RAM and UFS 4 storage. This is incredible considering its price. This device falls in the upper mid-range category, comes with some amazing hardware. In this video I'll be comparing it with its predecessor, that is Poco F5. F6 is basically a rebranded Redmi Turbo 3. In India it comes in two colors, black and titanium. I own the titanium variant. The titanium variant appears to be a bit golden in color. Now the key highlight of this device is its processor, Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. In India it's the first mobile phone that comes with this processor. In terms of CPU performance, 8S Gen 3 is slightly slower than 8 Gen 3 processor, and in terms of GPU performance, it's slightly slower than 8 Gen 2 processor. Now this does not mean it's a slow processor just because it's slower than the other two processors that I just mentioned. 8S Gen 3 is considerably faster than Poco F5's processor, that is Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2. 8S Gen 3 is an octa-core processor based on a 4nm production process. It has Cortex-X4 as its prime core, clocked at 3 GHz, 4 Cortex-A720 cores clocked at 2.8 GHz, and 3 Cortex-A520 cores clocked at 2 GHz. This CPU is coupled with Adreno 735 GPU. The ingress protection has been bumped from IP53 on Poco F5 to IP64 on Poco F6. F6 display received a resolution bump as well. On F5, display supports Full HD Plus resolution. On F6, it's a very weird resolution, 1220 by 2712 pixels. Xiaomi calls it 1.5K resolution. I'll be very honest, in terms of image quality and text sharpness, there wasn't any significant difference between the displays of these two devices. Both of the devices come with an AMOLED panel extending 6.67 inches diagonally, supporting up to 120Hz refresh rate. F5's display is protected by Gorilla Glass 5, whereas F6 display is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus. Both devices are completely made out of plastic. It's not a bad thing. Polycarbonate bodies don't heat up easily compared to metallic bodies. F6 uses a different sensor for its main camera. It's from Sony IMX882, aperture size f1.6, 50 MP, supports optical image stabilization. But the ultra-wide lens is the same on both of these devices. Sony IMX355 sensor, 8 MP in size. For its selfie camera, F6 uses OmniVision's OV20B sensor, 20 MP in size. Both devices' batteries are rated at 5000 mAh. F5's battery supports up to 67 watts of fast charging, whereas F6 battery supports up to 90 watts of fast charging. With Poco F6, you will be getting a fast charger rated at 120 watts. According to Xiaomi, with 90 watts fast charging enabled, the battery should be charged from 2 to 100% in about 35 minutes. I did my own testing with an ambient temperature of 31 degrees Celsius using 90 watts fast charging. Battery charged from 7 to 100% in about 46 minutes. The maximum temperature that I observed was around 41 degrees Celsius, nothing extreme. By default, 90 watts fast charging is disabled. You need to enable it from the battery settings. In the long run, fast charging is not good for battery's health. It's a normal thing for lithium batteries to lose charge over time. The more you charge the battery, the less its capacity becomes. Fingerprint sensors have changed as well. F5 uses its side-mounted power button as a fingerprint reader, whereas on F6, an in-display fingerprint reader is used, present close to the bottom edge of the display. Unfortunately, the 3.5mm port has been removed from F6, which is present on F5. Both devices don't support SD card. For connectivity, F6 supports dual 5G SIM, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth version 5.4, even NFC is supported in the Indian variant of F6. Infrared port is present. It does not have a physical proximity sensor. Virtual proximity sensing is used. Comes with Android 14 based HyperOS ROM out of the box. The device is promised to receive 3 major Android updates and 4 years of security updates. Not bad at all. I'll quickly show you the box contents. SIM card ejector tool. You'll be getting a silicone case. Paperwork. This silicone case is grey in color. Not bad at all. Device fits in very nicely, as you can see. Smooth finish. There's the in-display fingerprint reader. Digging further into the box, you'll find this 120 watts rated charger and this type C to type A cable rated at 6 ampere. Yeah, this charger has a slim profile. Very impressed by its design. Output rating, let me just focus it properly. I hope it's readable now. 5 volt 3 ampere, 9 volt 3 ampere, 11 volt 6 ampere, 17 volt 6 ampere, last but not least 20 volt 6 ampere. I used this charger with my ROG Ally. It was compatible with Ally's 30 watts turbo profile that requires a 65 watts charger. This charger is even compatible with Steam Deck. Now I'll be talking about the phone's design, build quality, buttons and ports. There's the fingerprint reader. Would have been nice if it was placed slightly higher than its current location. Just demonstrate it. It's very fast. There you go, phone got unlocked instantly. There's the punch hole camera. The earpiece is right above it, hidden in the top edge. The display comes with a pre-applied screen guard. Bit difficult to show it. You can see it from this edge. Left side is completely blank, no buttons on it. Then we have the right side, volume rocker, power button. On the bottom side we have the SIM card tray. Just open it. Supports 2 5G SIMs, no SD card. Then we have the mic, type C port. It does not support HDMI out. This is the speaker. I have an Idea SIM and Airtel Wi-Fi. Did not face any signal reception issue. The device even supports voice over Wi-Fi. This is the top side, another speaker. Device comes with a stereo speaker setup, IR blaster, another mic. You can see the glimmer on the back side when light falls on it at a certain angle. One good thing about this surface is that it does not catch fingerprints and smudges easily. Although the device is completely made out of plastic, it does not feel flimsy at all. Weighs around 180 grams. Has a thickness of around 8 mm. You can see the protrusion level for the camera rings. 2 large circular rings. This circular ring does not include any camera. It houses the flash. Here we can see the brand name, etching for camera's resolution, 50 megapixel. I was not impressed by the device's haptics. The vibration intensity was mild and mostly limited to the device's lower half, this area. Now I'll be talking about the AMOLED display. It supports 1920Hz, PWM dimming, a touch sampling rate of 480Hz, produces very deep blacks, excellent contrast. The colors don't fade when viewing the display at a certain angle. Just open the display and brightness settings. From here you can choose between light and dark modes. I'm using the dark mode. This is the light mode. Dark mode is easy on the eyes. Dark mode options. Selecting the mode for individual apps. Screen brightness can be adjusted from here. Then we have the auto brightness and sunlight mode settings. On this display I had no problems reading text even under direct sunlight. It's a very bright panel. More settings. Color scheme can be adjusted from here. I am using the vivid profile. By default, the device uses Original Color Pro, reproduce realistic colors through color calibration, saturated, advanced settings. You can even adjust the color temperature. Lot of options are available. Can choose either P3 or sRGB color gamut. So many options. Contrast, gamma, everything can be adjusted. I'll just stick to the vivid profile. The device supports 3 refresh rate settings, 60Hz, 120Hz and default. I am using the default mode. It dynamically adjusts the refresh rate depending on the activity that is going on. On a static screen, the refresh rate is dialed down to 60Hz. Show you the settings. Custom, 60, 120, default. Then we have the AI image engine settings. Now I tried using this super resolution setting. This is its description. Upscale the resolution of videos. It is recommended to be used with videos running at a resolution lower than 720p. Then this feature will upscale the resolution. I was not impressed by the image quality. Entirely up to you. Enabling it will slightly increase power consumption. AI HDR enhancement. Basically software conversion from SDR to HDR. I'll show you the video toolbox in action. Just open YouTube. Before that, make sure sidebar setting is enabled. Show while playing videos. I'm playing an HDR video on YouTube. The quality looks amazing. Resolution selected 4K, 60 fps. Different quality settings. Using this white vertical bar, you can access the video toolbox. Just swipe to the right side like this. Dolby Atmos enabled, can be disabled from here as well. Upscaler enabled. Basically run the video at a resolution lower than 720p. I tested this feature, was not impressed by its quality. Entirely up to you. Screenshot can be taken from here. Video can be recorded as well. Screencasting. I'll show you the floating window feature. I'll just tap on Amazon. The app opened up. We just switch to the vertical view like this. Okay, tap on the three dots. Different windows. I'll place Amazon app on the bottom side. That work. This is how you use the floating windows. Switch to Amazon app. The device supports Widevine L1 DRM. This means you will be able to stream videos at Full HD resolution on most of the popular streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime. This is the playback specification. Open in Netflix application. Widevine L1. Maximum playback resolution Full HD. HDR10 HEVC supported. Even Dolby Vision is supported. Now I'll be measuring the display's lowest and peak levels of brightness on a white background. 1% brightness level. Value in lux 9. Increase the brightness level to 100%. Wow, it's really very bright. The value is around 584 lux. This is Poco F5. Brightness level set to 1%. Its value came out to be around 14 lux. I'll set the brightness level to 100%. It's also very bright. Value came out to be around 589 lux. Roughly the same value in both Poco F5 and Poco F6. Now I'll be using a digital sound level meter to measure the amplitude of the audio coming out from the speakers of Poco F6. Just switched off my ceiling fan. I'll be playing this song by NCS Cartoon. First I'll measure the amplitude of the bottom speaker. Normal level without any noise. 41 dBA. Play the song.
I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
90 to 98 dBA. Wow, the sound is loud and clear. Do the same test for the top speaker.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
The stereo speaker setup on this device is really very good. The top side speaker has a slightly lower volume than the bottom side speaker, but both of these speakers produce a very loud and clear audio. Even at full volume, audio does not crack. Bass could have been better though. Now I'll be comparing the benchmark scores of my Poco F6 with the scores of my Poco F5. The latter comes with Snapdragon 7 Plus Gen 2 processor. I have the 8GB RAM variant of it. All of these tests were conducted in an environment with an ambient temperature of around 30 degrees Celsius. First we have AnTuTu benchmark results. F6 got an overall score of around 1.4 million. F5 got a score of around 1.1 million. Both CPU and GPU scores were higher on F6. The CPU score on F6 was around 374,000, whereas on F5 it was around 338,000. GPU score on F6 was again higher, 487,000. On F5 it was around 337,000. It's a big difference between the GPU scores. Next we have Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark result. Again F6 has the lead over F5. F6 got a single core score of around 1841, whereas F5 got a score of around 1179. Multi-core score on F6 was around 4600. On F5 it was around 4070. Both devices running on Android 14 based HyperOS. You can see their kernel version. Next, I ran the storage test on both of the devices. F6 comes with UFS 4 based storage. Got a sequence read speed of around 3938 MB per second. F5 got a sequence read speed of around 1851 MB per second. On F6, the sequence write speed was around 3104 MB per second. On F5, it was around 1767 MB per second. F6 again had the lead over F5 in terms of random access read and write speeds. Then I ran the CPU throttling test for about 10 minutes on both of the devices using the default settings. Observed less throttling on F6 compared to F5. On F6, CPU throttled to around 92% of its max performance. Got an average score of around 304,000 GIPS and a minimum score of around 288,000 GIPS. Whereas on F5, CPU throttled to around 85% of its max performance. Got a very good average score of around 299,000 GIPS. Minimum score 241,000 GIPS. It's still good. This is Antutu's My Device section. Just wanted to show you the GPU driver version and other details. Adreno 735 GPU, LPDDR5X RAM, quad channel, UFS 4 storage, different cores, 4nm production process, GPU version OpenGL ES 3.2 version 0762.18, Vulkan version 1.3. Now I'll be talking about the device's battery life. It is above average, nothing to write home about. The device should last for a day on medium usage. To be honest, the battery life could have been better. I think it's on the average side due to the 1.5K resolution display. These are the battery settings. From here you can select the current mode. By default it is set to balance. If you want to conserve the battery, you can set the current mode to either battery saver or ultra battery saver. If you plan on running an intensive application or a game, just set the current mode to ultimate mode. Battery's color will change to blue like this. I'll go back to the balance mode. Then we have battery protection settings, very useful. From here you can select 3 charging protection settings. Regular charging, always allow charging up to 100%. Would not recommend using it. It's not healthy for the battery, keeping the level at 100%. For battery's longevity, it's recommended to keep the level between 20 and 80%. Next we have optimized charging. Adjust charging based on usage scenarios. You can use this option. Enable this setting, nighttime charging protection. Adjust charging duration automatically to slow down battery aging. Personally, I use the limited charging setting. Only allow charging up to 80% to maintain battery health. So even if the charger is plugged in, upon reaching 80% battery level, the battery won't charge any further. Then we have additional features. From here you can enable speed up charging. Just enable this setting. Then tap on boost charging speed. Enable this setting as well, boost charging speed. This will enable the 90 watts fast charging. Set battery level for reminders. Default value is 20%. Notify about boosting. I monitored my battery usage. Used 90% of the device's battery. Got a screen on time of around 9 hours 25 minutes. Screen off time 11 hours 5 minutes. Played Alien Isolation for around 1.5 hours. Browsed through Reddit for around 2.5 hours. Used other social media apps as well. Used YouTube Studio. The device would have lasted for a day. Now I'll be talking about Xiaomi's HyperOS ROM. It's the lighter and more efficient version of MIUI. I have already covered it in detail on my Xiaomi Pad 6 and Redmi 12 5G, so I'll keep it short here. Would be covering each and every feature of it. F6 comes with an Android 14 based HyperOS ROM out of the box. This is the latest version at the time of recording this video, 1.0.3.0. Android security patch update is for the month of May 2024. Here you can see the baseband and kernel version. The month of July is about to end. The device should be receiving a new update soon. Okay, I'll show you how to enable the developer options. Continuously tap OS version here until you see a message developer mode enabled. It's already enabled in my case. So this message popped up, no need, you are already a developer. Go back, scroll down to the end, tap on additional settings, scroll down a bit. Here you'll see this setting developer options. From here you can enable MIUI frame rate monitor tool that will show you a real-time FPS counter. Just scroll down until you find this setting, power consumption. Tap on it, then tap on start here in the frame rate monitor tool square. This is the frame rate monitor tool. There is the FPS counter. It also shows the free RAM, system temperature, refresh rate and current resolution. Stop. Go back to additional settings. Just tap on memory extension. Just set it to off. By default it is set to 4 GB. Device's internal storage is used to create a virtual RAM. This virtual RAM is not as fast as the physical RAM. Even the base variant of Poco F6 has 8 GB of RAM. Virtual RAM is not required. I am using the gesture mode to navigate through the interface. Scrolling through the interface is a very smooth experience. No jank or stutters are present, as you can see. HyperOS comes with an app drawer by default. You can access app drawer setting by tapping on the settings cog here. You can access the notification panel by swiping down from the top left corner like this. Access the control center by swiping down from the top right corner. From here you can edit the quick toggles. Tap on edit here. You just need to drag and drop the toggles from one side to the other. For example, I'll just replace floating windows with auto brightness. There it is. Now I'll show you the settings for screen recorder. Tap on the camera icon here. Quick access. Tap on the settings cog. Resolution of the recorded video can be set from here. These are the different options: 720p resolution, 480p resolution, and this is Poco F6 native resolution. Video quality, bitrate can go up to 50 megabits per second. Orientation, portrait or landscape. Sound source, system sounds, mic, mute. Frame rate can go up to 90 fps. That's really good to see. Lowest value 15 fps. Out of the box, this device comes with a lot of bloatware applications and games. Good thing is we can uninstall all of them. For example, 3 puzzle games, uninstall like this. I didn't observe any ads. Just make sure receive recommendation setting is disabled from every Xiaomi system application. For example, I just launched MIUI security app. There it is. Tap on the settings cog here. Uncheck receive recommendations. Security app is very useful. From here you can access game speed turbo mode. There it is. Tap on it. Just add your game to this application. Unfortunately, we cannot enable game speed turbo's floating resource monitor now while playing the game. That's why I use MIUI frame rate monitor tool. Settings. First we have the general settings. Game turbo enabled, shortcuts enabled, content recommendations disabled. From here we can uninstall the games as well. Add game. Tap on it. I'll just add Genshin Impact. There it is. It has been added. If you want to remove it, just disable the toggle. Performance mode. These settings enable Wi-Fi optimization, optimized touch controls. Dynamic performance disabled. It adjusts resolution dynamically during gaming sessions. Don't want it. Disable performance optimization as well. It can underclock the processor. Back to security apps common features. Dual apps. It allows us to create 2 copies of one application. Using hide apps, you can hide any particular app. There is a HyperOS feature called second space. It basically allows us to create a separate partition on our mobile phone. The data and applications will be completely different for each partition. You can access second space setting by tapping on the edit icon here. There is second space. Tap on the plus icon, add it, check. There's the second space feature. Security app also has a security scanner. You can use it to scan the device's storage for viruses. Now I'll be playing Genshin Impact for about an hour. We'll be measuring the battery drain and temperatures. At the start, the temperature is around 36.5 degrees Celsius. MIUI frame rate monitor tool shows the system temperature. Same value, 36.4 degrees Celsius. Free RAM. I've also enabled RAM monitor app. Shows the values of free user and total RAM. CPU float app shows the clock speeds of all cores of the processor, battery drain current, milliampere, GPU load. Added Genshin Impact to game speed turbo mode. Launch the game from here. High performance mode has been enabled from the battery settings. Battery level at the start is 53. Brightness level, volume level. Show you the in-game settings. Graphics, basically using the medium preset. FPS cap set to 60. Motion blur disabled. And that's it. My current location, I'm in the Windrise area. I head to Mondstadt. Check out the performance here. FPS is within a range of 55 to 60, not bad at all. Temperatures are increasing, we'll see. RAM usage is around 6.6 GB combat time. This is the smoothest I have seen this game running on a mobile phone. Depends on the area as well. It's possible that the device overheats after about 30 minutes. Close to 41 degrees Celsius. Okay, GPU load is around 70%. Gives you an idea about the power of Adreno 735 GPU. Power drop 11 to 12,000 milliampere NPC. And you can see Mondstadt in the background. For a more stable experience, it's better to cap the FPS at 45. It will keep the temps in check as well. This is highly recommended if the ambient temperature is higher than 35 degrees Celsius. Quite common during Indian summer season. We made it. Entrance of Mondstadt. I'm observing some texture pop-in issue. 54 to 60 FPS here. Not bad at all. I used to test this game on my Redmi Note 9 Pro, Snapdragon 720G processor. Here the game used to freeze for about 2 to 3 seconds. I have been playing the game for about 30 minutes now. Battery percentage drop from 53 to 42. Temperature is around 42 degrees Celsius. Display side temperature 39.3 degrees Celsius. Backside is only slightly warm. Excellent thermal performance. First prologue complete. Performance has been very stable. No signs of throttling. See how smooth the animation looks. I'm just taking out some small fries. No idea what these things are. Swinging my blade. Okay, it's immune to this electric shock attack. Played the game for about an hour. Battery percentage dropped from 53 to 31. System temperature stayed within a range of 41 to 43 degrees Celsius with an ambient temperature of around 28 to 30 degrees Celsius. Display temperature is around 40.5 degrees Celsius, nothing extreme. back side, the maximum temperature is around 40.3 degrees Celsius. Again, nothing extreme. Excellent gaming performance. I use the medium preset, motion blur disable, 60 fps mode. Now I'll be covering the cameras of Poco F6. I'll be honest, I'm not an expert when it comes to photography. I'll keep this section short and simple. I often use my mobile phones to record my gameplay videos on Steam Deck and ROG Ally. Poco F6 does a good job here. Even with 2x zoom and indoor lighting conditions, the recorded videos come out to be very clean. There's barely any noise. I record my audio using the internal mic of F6. It does a decent job of suppressing the background noise. The colors in the video are slightly on the saturated side. The stabilization is good. Now I'll quickly go through the camera's interface. First we have the photo section. This is the viewfinder. You can lock the focus and exposure by pressing and holding anywhere in the viewfinder like this. Exposure and focus got locked. You can change the exposure by moving this slider, yellow one. See? We can switch to the ultra wide lens by tapping on 0.6 here. Switch to 2x zoom by tapping on 2 here. Normal camera 1. From here we can access the beautify options. It's just a slider. It applies a skin smoothing and whitening effect. I've noticed one thing. Even if we disable the beautify filter, the main camera still applies some form of skin smoothing effect. From here you can access the different filters. Switch to the selfie camera by tapping on this icon. Yeah, that's me. Beautify options, original, slider, reset, filters. The selfie camera has a wide field of view. HD effect enable or disable from here. Go back to the main camera. Google Lens, flash, enabled, off, quick settings. From here you can access all of the settings. Auto night mode can be toggled from here. Picture quality high, image stabilization enabled, video encoder, H.264 and H.265 settings are available. HDR10 plus high resolution videos. Recorded videos can be played only on HDR10 plus 10 compatible devices. It's the same interface for the video section. Rear camera can record videos at up to 4K resolution 60 fps. I'll just switch to the ultra wide camera. It can record videos at up to full HD resolution and 30 fps. Then we have the portrait section. Blur effect can be adjusted using this slider. See? Let me just focus on this mouse. Now I'll adjust the blur slider. Background got blurred. Night section. The device does a good job of automatically switching to the night mode under low light conditions. And we have the pro mode. From here we can adjust the white balance, focus, shutter speed, ISO and exposure compensation values. Last but not least, we have the more section. From here you can access the full 50 megapixel camera. I didn't observe a big difference in terms of image quality when using the 50 megapixel mode compared to the standard pixel binning mode. Slow motion effect can be accessed from here. Resolution full HD up to 240 fps is supported. Now I'll be sharing with you some samples that I took using the cameras of Poco F6. This image was taken using the device's main camera during the daytime. The main camera did a good job of capturing a lot of details. Barely any noise is visible even after using the double tap zoom. Good contrast. I can easily discern the yellow and green patches of the grass. White balance is decent. Good dynamic range. Colors are true to life. This time I used the ultra wide lens. Here the colors look a bit dull. Upon zooming in, double tap, image looks a bit soft. Contrast is pretty average. Dynamic range has taken a hit as well. It's a pretty average looking image. The only good thing about it is its wide range. Indoor image taken using the main camera of Poco F6 under artificial lighting conditions. The colors came out to be very good. Barely any noise was visible even after zooming in, but I did observe one problem. It seems the camera tried to apply the skin smoothing effect in some areas of my face even when I had the beautify filter disabled right here. This time I used the portrait mode. Camera did a good job of blurring the background. It was able to capture the strands of hair properly. This image was taken using the main camera in a low light environment. You can see the street lights are switched on. I was impressed by the details captured by the camera without adding too much noise. The camera was able to brighten up almost every object in the frame, but the dynamic range was pretty average. This is a picture taken using the main camera in a completely dark environment. Most of the details were lost. This is a picture taken using the front camera of Poco F6 against a very bright background. The camera was not able to completely remove the excessive lighting. Some part of it is still visible around my head. Under proper lighting conditions, the selfie photos came out to be very nice. Barely any noise is visible. Even after zooming in, double tap. Skin tones are mostly true to life. Portrait mode worked very nicely as well. You can see the blur effect in the background. Camera was able to capture strands of hair properly. This selfie image was taken in a dark environment and most of the details were lost. Not a usable image. I'm recording this video using the rear camera of Poco F6 Full HD 60 fps, just walking around the house, going outside. Okay, now I'll be shaking the device. Video is still stable. This time I'm recording the video using the front camera of Poco F6 Full HD resolution 60 fps, again walking around the house. Now we are outside against a very bright background. Can't see anything in the background. Much better now, natural light. Time to conclude the video. Poco F6 is an excellent choice for people who are looking for a phone with high performance without breaking the bank. The device has good sustained performance. Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor does not heat up easily. The 512GB UFS 4 variant of this device is available at an attractive price considering the competition. Excellent stereo speaker setup. 90 watts fast charging is supported. 120 watts fast charger is included with the device. IP64 ingress protection is there. In-display fingerprint sensor is also available. Display is protected by Gorilla Glass Victus. The performance of main and selfie camera is above average, but I was not impressed by the ultra-wide camera. Excellent OLED display on this device. Resolution is slightly higher than Full HD+. The display supports up to 120Hz refresh rate. Dolby Vision and HDR10+ are also supported. Battery life is above average, but I'll be honest, it could have been better. Device should last for a day on medium usage. I didn't like the haptics. The device does not come with a 3.5mm port. I see this as a con because this port is present in Poco F5. A hardware-based proximity sensor would have been better than a virtual one. Out of the box, there are many bloatware apps present on the phone. Good thing is that we can uninstall all of them. No ads were present in HyperOS system apps. I haven't seen any ads even on my Poco F5. I've been using that device for almost 15 months now. So that's it with the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.